to be here, so thank you for coming. There are plenty of seats to fill in, so please start coming in, fill in. If you're at the table, wait till the end. You can sign in or swipe your card when it's time for you to leave. So just come on in and sit down, and we'll get your attendance at the end. Okay. We have a couple of presentations for you today for the first seminar. The first, we have Bobby Pennington from Student Support Services, one of your biggest supporters on campus. Please welcome Bobby. She's going to talk to you about Student Support Services and the services that they provide.
I can't see any of you because it's really bright up here, so maybe that's better. I'm a little nervous. We came because we wanted to tell you guys, there are several of us kind of around, not up here, because I'm the only one brave enough to get up here in front of everybody. So there are several of us milling about. We do things for you guys, trying to help you guys be successful here and transfer on to get your bachelor's degree, hopefully. Are any of you guys thinking bachelor's degree eventually? Anybody? Good. Good deal. Okay, so I have this little quick presentation I'm going to run through. I hope it works. You're my guinea pigs. And then we have something we want to ask of you all to do for us as well. So I'm going to get started here. So the first little block here says, have you ever? We're not playing that game. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to ask you some questions, okay? So the first question I have is, have any of you guys ever gone noodling? Oh, there's got to be some noodlers. This is Oklahoma. Come on. Yeah. Y'all know what noodling is? Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what you do is you use yourself for bait, basically, to catch really big fish. So that's one thing I was going to ask you guys. Have you guys ever ridden a bull? I know we have a bull rider here. Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay. Have any of you guys ever gone bungee jumping? You have? Seriously? Where'd you go? Just somewhere? Okay. How would you get ready to go bungee jumping? What would you do to prepare yourself to go bungee jumping? Okay, one person. I need one person. Somebody raise your hand. Guy in the back row. You what? Pray? Would you run down to Walmart and buy a bungee cord and just hook it to your belt loop and jump off a cliff? No, you wouldn't do that, would you? I hope you wouldn't do that. Okay. So what do these things have in common, guys? Can you listen, please? I know I'm not the most exciting speaker, but let's listen, okay? All right. So what do these things have in common, these experiences? Anybody? Adrenaline? Yeah. They're exciting. What else? Anybody?
We have idiot people doing stupid stuff.
I can't hear you, honey.
Stupid people who's doing idiotic, dangerous stuff.
Okay, so they're dangerous. Some of these things are dangerous. Is that what you were going to say? Okay. So some of the things I thought of are, it's scary, but it's fun, right? To get to do some of those things. What happens when you get done and you've actually done it and you can mark it off your list? Don't you feel good about yourself? Like, woo, did that. Yeah. But the only thing that you have to remember is that if you don't prepare, if you run down to Walmart and buy you a bungee cord and jump off a cliff, what's probably going to happen? You're going to die. There's going to be bad consequences, right? So what I want you guys to realize is college is kind of like that, in a way. You're not going to die, hopefully, but how's it like it? Because it is scary a little bit, but it's also fun. When you finish, there is a huge sense of accomplishment, you guys. Our favorite time of year is this time of year when you guys are first coming on campus and everybody's super excited, and then at graduation when everybody's super excited and getting to walk across the stage. So there is a huge sense of accomplishment. But guess what? If you're not prepared, again, it can go really badly. There's wasted time, wasted money, wasted effort. Let's not do that, okay? So who here on campus can help you guys be prepared? Right on! Okay. Not just me individually. Please don't just come to my door. Okay, so one thing that, well, obviously, if you come to us and you go, man, I don't know, I'm not passing my math class, I'm really struggling. What can I do? The first thing I'm going to ask you is, have you talked to your teacher? Have you gotten some help from that teacher? Also, like if you're confused, and you don't know where you want to go, and you're, don't know what you're going to transfer as or any of that stuff, you can talk to your advisors. So definitely they're here, they're getting paid to help you, so make them run their money, okay? CASA and ACE, which you guys have probably heard a little bit about. The CASA is the Center for Academic Student something. I don't know. What is it, David?
Center for Academic Success and Advisory.
Thank you. You don't have to know what it means, you just have to know what they do. They do testing. They also will help you guys with career resources, all sorts of great stuff. They're in the basement of the Library Administration Building. ACE is the American Indian Center for Excellence, right? And so it's in Connie, great place to go, get lots of resources, lots of information about money for schooling and community service, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so, and also just staff and administration. We're not just paid to hang around here, we're paid to help you guys, so ask questions, okay? However, I want you to know, Student Support Services has got you if you're interested in being in our program. We do a lot of stuff for you guys to try to help you be successful and get out of here. I mean, I tell you guys all the time, and you know, some of you guys know when you come in and talk to me, our job is to get rid of you guys. So that's what we want to do. But we want to get rid of you successfully, okay? So we do tutoring, we do transfer counseling, transfer trips, we do career counseling and skill development, computer lab and study area available to you guys, free printing, cultural trips, community service, networking and leadership opportunities, possible financial help with school, which we can explain when you come up. Then we have lots and lots of workshops, and we feed you guys, and we talk about financial aid, budgeting skills, credit app, all that stuff, and study skills, career prep, et cetera, what we can do to help you be successful, not just as students, but as human beings and adults, which adulting really is hard, isn't it? Yes, by the way. Okay, so you're probably going, well, how do I qualify for this amazing program? So we are going to ask you, are you a first generation college student? So you guys know what that means? Anybody? Yeah, the first person in your family, whoever you grew up with, like if you grew up with your grandma and grandpa, they didn't get a bachelor's degree, you're a first generation student. If you grew up just with mom didn't get a bachelor's degree, you're a first generation student. That's a way to qualify, okay? And the reason that's a way to qualify is because you may not have somebody that you can ask questions at home of, like when things go wrong or you have a question, so that's why. The second way is to be income eligible. Generally, very broadly speaking, if you get Pell on your financial aid package, you're probably going to qualify, but we have to look at your taxable income, your folks' taxable income. So we'll ask you for documentation when you come up, okay? So that's second way. First gen, income eligible. Third way to be eligible is to be a student with a disability. That can be a learning disability, can be an emotional disability, can be a physical disability, but it has to be something that's documented. You can't just say, come in and go, well, I fell off a bull when I was 18 and I'm disabled. You have to have some kind of documentation. Whoops, sorry. That didn't work. Okay, so, I don't know what this is. Oh, we need your help, okay, guys? I would tell you that we can help you, but we also need your help. And the reason we need your help is because we are 100% federally funded. And anybody who's ever worked in a federally funded program understands, or been around one, understands you have to let them know why you need their money, basically. What it means is that we do a lot of paperwork. It also means that we have to justify ourselves. We have to prove to the federal government that we're needed at NEO. And I'm going to tell you, we've gone out for years, David knows this. We go out every year and talk to you guys and ask you for your help with the survey that I'm going to ask you to do. And every year, for the last 15, 16 years, 70 to 80% of you guys on this campus qualify in at least one of those areas that I talked about. What was it? First gen, income, disabled. 70 to 80% of you guys. So we know you guys are out there. So, but we have to prove it to the government that you're out there. We can't just say it, they don't believe us. So, we need you to take our survey for us. What's going to happen is, I'm going to show you how to do it real quick. But before I do that, does anybody have quick questions? Anybody? You want to know where our program is, anybody? Okay. Our program's on the second floor of Abels Hall, right over here. We're on the second floor. Just come up in there and take an application with you, and we'll explain how to do the application, what kind of documentation we need, and we'll get the ball rolling. Our director, Julie, is right here. Do you have anything you want to add, Julie, real quick before we get to the survey? Oh, really? Oh, we're not going to do the survey.
Yeah, so we're gonna actually just send out emails and staff.
Oh, never mind. Okay, so the end of this, just ignore it. so we're done? So, yeah, so we're gonna send you, I guess, a link to the survey. Okay, and then you can do it for us. I will tell you that it's a huge help because it gives us information to provide to the government. For us. For you, please come see us if you need help, okay? So thank you guys for your attention. I'm gonna close this thing now. I guess I'm done.
Please make sure you look for the link in your email and that you complete the survey. It's very important to them and to the funding and the services that they can provide to you as students. So please make sure that you do that. But we're kind of in a time crunch. We have another speaker that's here today, and our topic is about financial wellness. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Alex Akupan, who is a financial advisor, is that your title? With Edward Jones here in Miami. He has a couple of kids in the local school system. He's very invested in the community and just an all-around great guy. So I'm very thankful that he is here to talk to you today. Please give him your respect, listen, and take some tips home with you.
That's good. Good afternoon. You can do better than that. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, this is going to be pretty interactive. A little bit about me. So I am not your school counselor. I am not your teacher. I'm not your parent. I am a guy who helps people make money. Who in here wants to make more money? There's a couple hands that are not up. Are we in the wrong place? Are we sleeping? What's going on? Who here doesn't want to make more money? Raise your hand if you want to make more money. Okay, you should all be wanting to make a little more money. Money doesn't necessarily make people happy, but it does help make things work. Okay? I deal with a lot of people with a lot of money. I have folks that have a lot of money and they're miserable. I have cousins that are back in the Philippines and they struggle, but they have their faith, they have their family, and they giggle. Okay, so I'm not going to diminish that money makes people happy, but I do think that it does help folks make things work. Okay, the best thing I can do to help you guys make more money is to encourage you guys to still stay with school. High school graduates make about $20,000 to $21,000 a year. A college graduate makes about $36,000 a year. An associate's degree split the difference, they have about $28,000 a year. So when you're sitting in an Oklahoma history class or Spanish class or something that you're like, I am never, ever going to use this ever in my life. The trick is you need it to graduate. And what happens if you don't graduate? That's the difference between $36,000 a year and $15,000 a year. Okay, get it? Go to class. Go to class, get your degree, go prove to someone that you can do what's been asked of you to do. As an employer, I've employed people that have various degrees from different places, and all that degree tells me, were they able to do what they were asked to do in an appropriate amount of time? So if I have a guy who graduates in 4 years, and I have a guy who graduates in 6, what does that tell me? Maybe I don't want to give this guy something that is timely, okay? If I have a guy that graduates in 4 years and he has a 4.0, someone who graduates 4 years with a 2.0, what does that tell me? That it might be able to leave him alone a little bit more, him or her, and they're going to get the job done. College is nothing more than a big task. To employers, that's what we're looking for. We want to see that you were able to take a very complex task. I want to be able to give you a task and that you can get it done timely and really, really well. So when you're in class and you're thinking, oh, when am I ever going to need this statistics class? When am I ever going to use this statistics class? You need it to graduate. You need to do it so that you can make the difference between $21,000 a year and $36,000. You get it? Okay. So I graduated with a biomedical electrical engineering degree from the University of Southern California. And I have a better time doing what I do now than ever before. I help people make money. Oh, let's talk about objectives. We are going to, you guys are probably not my ideal client. College poor. Okay? But if I don't talk about financial literacy to you guys, you will never become my client. If I never talk to you, if I don't do pro bono stuff like this and talk to you guys about how to set a budget, you will never get to be my client. I will never be able to put your money into Amazon, which, by the way, if we put $10,000 in Amazon 2.5 years ago, it's worth $30,000 today, which a couple of my clients have been very happy with me about. The problem is you have to have $10,000. Okay, the difference between $36,000 a year and 21, get it? Stay in class. All right, so our objectives today. Is it going to be up? It's one. I'm just going to talk. Well, maybe that'll work. We're going to try to create an awareness of what financial literacy is. Okay? And I'm going to try to give you the confidence. I promise you, I'm going to try to give you the confidence, if this works, to be able to tackle financial matters. Then we're going to give you a technique about how to do that. Okay? You guys, unfortunately, they don't talk. There's only 5 states in the nation that talks about financial literacy in school. Okay? You don't even get it in college unless you have a college freshman year experience that really wants to talk about this. And this is only one time. It's like, I got a couple of guys in here that was playing basketball. Eli Chenoweth, where are you? Last year. Ooh, Eli, there you are. I saw you. You don't practice free throws just once, right? You practice it all the time, right? Okay, so you're going to hear it from me one time, and yet you're going to want to make sure that you understand how this stuff works. And unfortunately, it's not in the curriculum. So financial literacy. 44% of Americans don't have enough cash to cover, thanks David, a $400 emergency. I'm not talking about college students, I'm talking about Americans. Your parents, people that you work with, 44%, 4 out of 10, almost 5 out of 10, don't have enough cash to cover a $400 emergency. 43% of student loan borrowers are not making payments. 38% of U.S. households have credit card debt. On average, $16,000 of credit card debt with 16% interest. And 33% of American adults have no money saved for retirement. So debt is a problem, obviously. They're not paying their student loan debts, they have credit card debt, and they don't have enough money for emergencies. Retirement is a problem. Okay, I have a lot of people that want me to help them make sure they don't have to work forever. Who here wants to work forever? Oh, good, we have one. Okay, you're excused. I'm just kidding. You do want to not, your body won't let you work forever. You're going to get, you're going to get to a point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. So if you're going to retire at 65 and live to 85, there's 20 years without a paycheck. Save a little bit over a long period of time, and you can do that. But in any case, that's the problem here in the United States. 44% of Americans don't have enough money for an emergency. 43% of student loans aren't getting paid back. 4 out of 10, 38% of households have credit card debt because they don't have emergency money. And a third of you guys don't have a plan for retirement. Okay, that's really disconcerting. That's really scary, Alex. What the heck? Okay, so here's where the confidence comes from. When I think of financial literacy, and I thought about this a lot before I came here today, reading literacy, you start with the ABCs. So financial literacy, I'm going to try to be cute about this. We're going to start with the ABCs. Always be cautious. Always be cautious. Spending money can be dangerous. If you spend more money than you make or than you have, you will go into debt. If you spend more money than you make or you have, and you have an emergency, or if you spend just exactly the amount and you have an emergency, what are you going to put that? What do you do if you don't have the money to buy something and you need to have it? Anybody want to give me an answer? Typically, I'm doing a class of 30 and people are like yelling. But here, you guys, I've got 300 of you guys. I don't know. Take out a loan. Put it on a credit card. Good answer. That's why we have $16,000 in credit card debt. Credit card debt is a trap. That's not your money. That's my money because I've saved. And I'm going to loan you $300. And you're going to pay me back my $300 and I'm going to charge you interest, 16%. Would you rather have your own money and not have to pay me 16%? That's where we're trying to get you guys to be, okay? So always be cautious, ABCs, always be cautious. Don't spend more money than you make. Okay, so as I was thinking about this, and I talked to David over at church, and we were saying, okay, one of our friends said, there's the 24-hour rule. We here as Americans, we really don't do really well, that's good English, we don't do well discerning the difference between want and need. I need this or do I want this? So if you're going to make a purchase, you're going to buy something, I encourage you to wait 24 hours. I want this, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to wait 24 hours. I'm going to let it stew. I'm going to decide, and then tomorrow I'm going to say, if I really want this, that immediate bright, shiny, oh my gosh, it's great, it's gone. You're like, I really don't need it. Then if you can do the 24-hour rule, that'll help with discerning the difference between want and need, okay? Because you can do this. I promise you can do this. If you guys can really put some thought into not spending more than what you make, and you apply that throughout your life, eventually you'll get a chance to see me, okay? And then I can help you make more money. Does that make sense? Okay. So always be cautious, do the 24-hour rule, and then as far as confidence goes, you guys realize we just went through a little session about how many people are invested in your success. You don't have to do this by yourself. Okay, if money intimidates you, if money is not something that is really well taken care of in your family, your first generation, or you're like, my parents never talked about money because it's scary, because they're living check to check also, and they don't want to talk to you guys, and tell you guys about how scary things are. You do not have to do this by yourself. There are a lot of people willing to help. Okay, student services, your teachers, a trusted uncle, financial advisor, There are people out there that if you admit to them, I need help, they're going to help you. You can do this. Money doesn't have to be something that you're afraid of. If you're afraid of it, it will control you. If you control it, you will have lots of it. Make sense? Okay, so we're going to talk about, we've done 1, the awareness that money is a problem, and 2, you guys got this, okay? You don't have to do it on your own, but you can do this. All you have to do is just ask. Okay. Any questions of me so far? Come on. All right, just ask.
How much money do you have?
How much money do I have? I know this always comes up. I have enough to cover any emergency I may need. I could do that. What if I could use yes, I could do that. I've got a senior in high school and a sophomore in high school, and I've planned to hopefully be able to help pay for them. I don't have to work forever. I could buy a car with cash if I wanted to.
Like a Pinto or Rolls Royce?
Oh, good question. Like a Pinto or a Rolls Royce. No, why does it have to come to this? So, I've got, gosh, why is it? Some of you guys know my kids. This is not good. I got 2 commas in my net worth.
Car or a really old beat up?
Oh, it would be a good car. It would be a good car. Now, keep in mind, here's what you guys probably should know about me. I drive a 2003 Ford 150 because I don't need the car to make people like me. Okay? I drive the car because I like having space in the back. So eventually, once I have the kids gone, and my business is doing like it's supposed to be doing, it continues to do well, then I'll talk about my dream car, okay? But for now, I have commitments. But it's probably not a good idea that when you're dealing with people's money and you're driving a better car than them, that you're like, oh, what are you doing, right? Okay, that's a good question. Anything else? Anybody else? Yes, sir. Oh my God, you know Ted Jones? I have never met Ted Jones. My company that I work for is Edward Jones. It's based out of St. Louis. Our founder is Ed. His son is named Ted. And he's the one that started investments in small towns. And he realized that people in small towns actually have just as much money as people in metro areas. And that's when we started having brokers, financial advisors in small towns. It's surprising. I have a lot of friends that have started their business in like Tulsa, and I'm doing much better than them because there's a lot more competition there. I like where I work. So, what else? You guys are chomping at the bit. Yes, sir.
Did you hit like a low point in your life when you realized you needed to save your money?
Did I hit a low point in my life when I realized I had to save money? First, understand, I was not born here in the United States. I was born in the Philippines. I was born in Manila. I came over with my parents. We had very little. It was 8 years between when I got nationalized and then with my parents, and we became American citizens. We worked hard, got a scholarship to Southern Cal. It's all about what you can make of yourself. Did I ever hit a low spot? No. I always had confidence that I could make it. What else? Yes, sir. What age should I suggest that you start investing? Well, you guys already know the answer. It's now. So the sooner you can, the better it is. But you understand that when you guys are investing in your own education, that is an investment. There's nothing better than the credit units that you're spending today to get a college degree, to get an associate's degree, because that's the difference between how much is high school graduate? College graduate? $15,000 a year. If you can spend, the average tuition here is what, Amy? $150 a credit hour. You can turn $150 to $15,000 a year. Do it. Best investment you can make. You guys got some good questions for the afternoon on a Tuesday. What else? Yes, ma'am.
Who would you suggest investing in?
Okay, so who do you suggest I would work? Well, obviously Edward Jones, but that it really depends on who you're comfortable with. Okay, there are a lot of my Walmart's not any different than anybody else's Walmart. It's the ability for you to connect with your advisor and then have him inspire you to do more. Okay, great questions. All right, so I'm going to teach you a technique. Unless there's another question. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Do you recommend getting a retirement plan at this age?
If you have the ability to budget and have room in your budget to put money in a retirement plan, yes. So the question was, should you put money in a retirement plan? If you have room in your budget to put money in a retirement plan, the money you put in today through compound interest over 40, how old are you? 18, oh my gosh. 40, 50 years of compound interest, that's a lot of money. So a little bit today is a lot of money later. Yes, ma'am.
Did you buy your kids' cars?
Did I buy my kids' cars? Now, I have a weird philosophy about that. You know, I think my kids' cars and my kids' college, they should have some skin in the game. Even though I could pay for it all, I think that it's important that if something is given to you, you possibly don't take as much. Excuse me? Amen, right? If you earn it yourself, it's worth more to you, right? And you respect it. So that's my philosophy. I could have, but there's importance in having a lesson there in terms of skin in the game. I did. What else? Okay, so the technique I'm going to teach you guys today. How many here has actually done a budget? Recently? Not bad. Okay, I don't know how well this was going to work. I typically do this on a dry erase board, but we're going to give it a shot. By the way, that's a good investment right there. Starbucks. It happens to be in a good price right now, so I think if you bought some Starbucks today, you'd make some money later. But anyway, no one seems to be giving up their coffee if they go into a recession. For me, a budget, let's talk about a personal budget and a business budget. For me, if my business brings in $80,000 a month, is that pretty good? Not if I'm spending $100. It's a trick question. I don't spend $100, okay? But the trick is a good budget, income has to be less than expenses. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter how much your income is, as long as your expenses are less than that, that's a good budget. Okay? So, use the Sharpies. That is the basis of a budget, business or personal. If you run your personal finances like a business, okay, and you guys are budding entrepreneurs, budding business people, budding adults, if you're spending more money than you make, you will go bankrupt. If my business spends more money than it makes, it will go bankrupt. You have to you have to understand how much your income is, and then understand where your expenses are going. Somebody give me an hourly wage. Okay, so I'm hearing anywhere between 8 to 9. I'm going to give you guys a raise. We're going to go. Does that look good? Okay, you're working $14 an hour, 40 hours a week, $560 per week times 4 weeks in a month. You follow? Yes, ma'am. No, well, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Give this girl a star and a hand. You guys got me all excited by the other questions, by the way. So I'm gonna plead the insanity on that one. Okay, do you get to keep all 2240? Do you get to keep that? Which uncle do you guys get to pay? $17.92. When you guys get your first job, or when you guys get out there in the workforce and you guys start realizing, okay, I need to plan my month, you got to understand that you're not making what you think you're making. Okay? So that's $17.92. Now let's talk about expenses. Now I like to do expenses a little different. Okay? When you guys get out into the workforce, there are expenses that you have to have. And then there's expenses that are optional. Okay? Then there's a column called you're going to need some money and some what if, because something's going to happen, right? Dreams. Okay? All right, so let's talk about what is it, the things that you have to have once you get out of school? A boat, probably on the optional basis. Oh, a phone. Yeah. How about food? How about rent? Rent? Car. Insurance. Fuel. Utilities. All right, let's stop there. Can anybody tell me how much rent is around the Tulsa area? Let's say 600. Oh, I heard somebody say that's too much. You guys are already starting to figure out why this is important. Just by writing it down, you guys are like, oh crap, I got $17.92. What the hell am I going to get? 600. Why am I spending 600 on that? You know, every red-blooded man that I coached when I was a platoon sergeant, every private that I ever had a chance to, the first thing they wanted to do once they had a good job was buy a car. A big car, a truck with big tires and a nice. You guys got to make a decision. You're going to have to decide. If you have a budget and you have it in your budget to do so, yes, go ahead. $300 a month? Car payment? Okay, now I heard a lot of people say, you know, hair products, toiletries, hygiene, this kind of stuff. Let's think about food. Let's think about food in terms of a Walmart run. Okay? So if you think about a Walmart run per week, that covers all of your food, all of your toiletries, all the... Okay, let's do it per week, and then we'll multiply by 4. How? Anybody tell me how much well, Amy, for a family of 4, a weekly Walmart run?
500. If it's my family's 300.
Okay, hold on. I know, there's 300 of you guys. Hold on. How much was it, Amy? 200 per week. That's 800 for her. Now it's just you. Okay, it's just you. 50 per week?
Ramen noodles and grilled cheese.
Ramen noodles and grilled cheese. You guys are in college, right? Okay, what do you guys want? It's your budget. I don't care. It's your budget. $100 a week? $100 a week. I'm hearing you. I'm feeling you. That's $100 a week. You did say 100. I said $100 a week, 400 times for the month. Okay. What's that?
When we first did the thing, I thought that was just for 1 week.
You thought it was just 1 week? Depends, right? It's a lot. 100 is a lot. Is it $50 for the week? 200 for the month? It depends on how many food. I'll give you a break. I'll say 200. Okay, fuel. Who's filling up a tank a week? A tank a week. Give me an average cost to fill up a tank. Yeah, 75 for a big truck that only gets 10 miles a gallon. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a break. We're going to do $30 to fill up a tank, and you're going back and forth to work, and you're going to fill it up once a week. 30 times 4. Okay, utilities for a one-bedroom apartment, utilities. Electric, water, no, it's not that much. About 100. It's a small apartment, guys. No, it's 100 for the month.
Oh, okay. But you had our food for
4 weeks.
I know, but it's 4. You said 4 people. A family of 4, but
Well,
then
but it's just you.
Okay, so then it's not really that much. So he lied.
So it's 200, right?
Yes.
200. I'm giving you a break. 200. Okay. So if you're doing your own insurance, anybody here doing your own insurance for a car? $100 a month, $600 every 6 months? 600 every 6 months? If you're good, or go uninsured, which is not a good idea. Yeah, it's cheap until you get into a problem. All right, phone. Average phone bill. Anybody? Okay, I'm gonna go 80. That's with data. That's with data. It's less or more? Somebody add that up for me. Somebody add that up for me. Plus 200, plus 300, plus 100, plus 120, plus 100. It's 1,500. Look, you guys are in budget. Go for it. That's a good budget. You're actually less than your expenses, your income. That's good. Okay, so what are optional? Dates, clothes, entertainment, hobbies, hunting, pets. It's crazy, huh? It starts to look a little scary. Okay, so dinner and a movie. $40 dinner and a movie just for you or with your date? Just for you. You're going Dutch? Okay, that's probably not a good idea. 65? Depends on the girl, right? Depends on if you want a second date, right? No one plans to fail, they just fail to plan. If you want to have a dating budget, have a dating budget. I don't care, it's your budget. Eating out, entertainment, eating out, movies, that kind of stuff. You know, the best dates actually aren't expensive. Just saying. Okay. I would suggest that you put some money here, just in case something breaks. $50 a month. But you got to have a budget for this. You got to have an idea of where your money is going. This isn't bad, guys. It's just a technique. It's something that you have to master. I call it a skill. If you don't master this skill and you're reevaluating it every time you get another income pay raise or more hours or whatever, you will not know where you're spending your money, and spending is dangerous. Because if you spend more money than what you make, you will go into debt and be just like everybody else. Okay, and we're going over this fast because this is just kind of giving you guys ideas about a technique, okay? Are kids free? Okay, at least we can admit that. Okay. How many of you guys want to own a house one of these days? Okay, so the average house down payment is $10,000. If you're going to put 10% down on a $100,000 house, it's $10,000. How do you expect to have $10,000 if you're not putting money in? And you got to have it in your budget. Okay, so it takes 100 months times $100 a month to get $10,000. So are you going to have it in your budget or not? No, you should. If you want to have it, if that's a goal, if that's a dream, no one plans to fail, they just fail to plan. If that's what you want, put money towards it. Prioritize what your goals are. Don't be afraid of these decisions. You can do this. No one else can do it for you. You've got to make these decisions. Okay. Honeymoon. Wedding. Okay, so the honeymoon that you choose for your bride, the one bride that you're supposed to have for the rest of your life, guys, this to the guys here, okay, supposedly, you guys have a choice. Do you want to have it be Bricktown in Oklahoma City, or do you want it to be Hawaii? No one plans to fail, they just fail to plan. If that's what you want, then put some money towards it. Got it? Weddings, if you guys want, hey, I want this kind of wedding and everything else like that, then put some money towards it. Okay. So you guys get it? Do you guys get a little bit of this idea of the technique? Write it down. If you don't write it down, it's not real. Okay? Let me tell you a little bit about this budget. If you have a budget is not meant to be handcuffs. Let's say it's 4th of July weekend and you've got your $50 a week budget for food from Walmart run, and you're like, we want to have a party. We're going to spend $80. Go ahead. Just the week before, only spend 40, and the week afterwards, only spend 40. It's just an idea to keep you guys from not making a mistake. Okay? No one plans to fail, they just fail to plan. If you've got a $50 budget per week, and you want, this doesn't even include beer money, right? Hypothetically, when of age, okay? But if you're gonna have it, plan. Plan. If you're gonna spend $100 for a 4th of July party, then you're gonna have to cut somewhere else. There's only so much money. You guys get it? Okay. So, questions? Questions? Just a second, let me go back there. Nicely done. Yes, question. Yeah?
Do you think I should take up some special ointment on a squeaky elbow?
Yes. So the question is, how do I budget? For me personally, because of my income, we budget very loosely because we don't spend nearly as much as what I make. But when your budget is tight, when your income is tight, then you need to watch your pennies. You need to pencil it out. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
When we start a 401k account, what should we start off? Like, how much should we put in every month?
So on a 401k account, ideally a 401k, for all those that don't know about a 401k is a vehicle, is an account for retirement. And when you guys are starting your careers at your place of employment after you graduate from school, because the difference between 21 and 36, okay? I'd like to get you guys up to 10% per year. But if you can't do that because of your budget, start with 2, next year go to 3, and start increasing, okay? In the back. I'm sorry, there's too much.
After you had your kids, what was it that you had to cut back on the most?
After I had my kids, what was it that I had to cut back the most? We didn't date as much. We had kids. We still going out, don't get me wrong. We vacation now. We do a good job with that kind of stuff, but that's different, okay? Budgets are easy. Just write it down. Budgets are going to change from month to month depending on how many hours you're going to make. Budgets will change. This is a skill. This is not one time. This is something that you want to be able to have a handle on in your money. If you don't control it, it will control you. Spending money is dangerous. but you can do it. ABCs, always be cautious on your spending. Amy, that's all I got. They've been asking all kinds of questions.
Thank you. Everybody give Alex another round of applause.